Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, another edition here of the Code for Giants Cup. The Code for Giants Cup number 31. I'm of course just VIP with me at LatAm number 7, I should say. And of course just VIP with him, joined by these amazing players and by the people in the chats as well. Welcome, one all. If you have any else, Papi, if you have any else, we have returned here with something a little bit different, something special. Welcome back to a weekly tournament for the Latin American region. Let's go. Let us go. As I very quickly have to update the title. Beautiful. But again, this has kind of been on the backlog for a little bit here. As I mentioned before, we've been so busy with GSL and RSL, but we have been successfully catching up with all these events, and we're here to catch up with some Code for Giants Cup as well. Let's go. Let's go. For those who are maybe unaware with our history of StarCraft and our history with the Latin American region, this is actually where we kind of began back in the day, back in 2019. When it comes to us covering tournaments, we initially started only covering amateur events, and then towards the end of 2019 we branched out into more regional events. We started casting VTL, which was a Vietnamese team league. We started casting some more Oceanic and Southeast Asian focused events. And then, of course, we reached out into covering Sentimiento Latino, which at the time was the biggest Latin American Open Cup. Sentimiento Latino, Code for Batalla de las Americas, and also Code, Code Hyperion. Code Hyperion as well, where there was just a bunch of content surrounding the Latin American region. It was huge, it was massive. We had our own Latin American roster as well, and then eventually those weeklies did die out. They did come to a close, they did come to an end, and it's only in recent times, in recent months, where we have had Cosmos step up and actually start hosting Latin American weeklies again. Obviously, Code for Giants Cup has been around for a while, but here we have the Code for Giants Cup LatAm edition. True. Edition number 7, which is open to not just Brazilians but also all Latin American players alike. As a result, we do have Cham from Mexico up against MasTeR from Brazil. Let's go. We're jumping into our first game, into our first series. We're going to be jumping into the quarterfinals. Vámonos. Game 1 is going to be on Ruby Rock. But again, hope you've all been enjoying yourselves. Hope you've all had a great weekend so far as we're getting into Masters of the Game, for example. I know you Thermal Tuesday Circuit is also said weekend in this weekend as well. A lot of content, a lot of StarCraft as always. And we are jumping into our first series as spawning in the top left-hand corner of Ruby Rock. We have the blue Protoss player. We have the Brazilian Protoss representing Team Hellfire. It is MasTeR. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have as a button, we have the Mexican Zerg player. We have the red Zerg representing eGGz Esports. It is Cham. Here we go, we're jumping on in, and it has been a while since I've gotten to see these two players face off. Specifically Cham. He up until this point was not actually playing in the Latin American weeklies. Special was Juanito. Cham less so. So great to see him take part, great to see him sign up, and we'll see how he compares to someone of the caliber of MasTeR. MasTeR, of course, being the best pro player in all of Brazil. I'm dying a little bit. Being the best Protoss player in all of Brazil, but also the best Protoss in all of Latino America as well. Bearing in mind that Mute used to have that title, but Mute did, from my understanding, retire. I don't think we've seen Mute compete this year. He was active last year in 2025, but coming into 2026, Mute has been very inactive. So that's where MasTeR has kind of like stepped up, where he has risen up instead. And again, we'll see how Cham does compare. For now, Hatchgas will standard opener. When it comes to Cham's preferred style in PvZ, traditionally, he is hyper aggressive, especially based off of Roach based play. So we're expecting a lot of mid-game aggression, a lot of Roach aggression out of Cham to end the game a little bit earlier before we reach any kind of mid to late game situation. Likewise, MasTeR, I mean, I think my perception of him is a little colored because of his series against Eric, for example, where they go back and forth and they're very familiar with each other, but MasTeR also typically thrives in the mid-game as well. So we're expecting a mid-game clash here between these two players, not necessarily the kind of player to rush into Skytoss and rush into the late game. That's not really MasTeR's MO. But now the Stargate. Stargate open out of MasTeR, opening up into a third expansion, into our tech of choice. We'll keep an eye on the Twilight Council timing. From the side of Cham, what are we keeping an eye on? We're keeping an eye on the tech of choice when it comes to the first usage of gas. Do we go Eva Chamber? Do we go Bailey Nest? Do we go Lair? Or do we go Roach Warren? We shall see. As now we've pulled out of gas, just droning, saturating, and settling into Ruby Rock. Ruby Rock being a smaller map of the map pool, aggression is heavily favored on this map, and again, we'll see how aggressive our players plan on being. We'll see how committed we are. Regardless, that's kind of the direction that we're expecting here. On these larger maps, then we can start talking about longer games like Winter Madness or say White Rabbit potentially, or even Title Citadel. But for the most part here, we're expecting more aggression. So it does poke it. Does poke in, does pull away. Likewise, you have our first Oracle in production. Oh. For a moment, I thought I saw a building being thrown down. Now just opening up Oracle. Oracle, of course, is amazing when it comes to scouting, defense, offense as well, harassing, defending against runways and counterattacks. It is the bread and butter of PvZ. Very rarely we do see, say, like a Twilight Council opener or like a Robo opener, but it's very rare to see a deviation like that. Stargate play should be the go-to throughout the entire series. From here, speaking of, the Oracle's in position, Lings they push forward, and the third base is going to be thrown down. Get our third Lings, they apply some pressure, they force the pulse lightning to be activated, but outside of that, Lings are going to be deflected, and from here we can expand. Builds up, we can expand. Once again, Zerglings are going to be sent away. And Cham does pull back into gas. Okay, we're pulling back in, and it is going to be, okay, there we go, Roach Warren first. So, because it didn't go Eva Chamber, this is going to be a more Roach-heavy composition. Hey, we spoke about this at the start of the game. With this, we can go into Roach Hydra, or we can go into Roach Muta, or we can just go Roach into an all-in. So, we'll see kind of the trajectory here of the game. But this does open up more aggressive options early on. We haven't seen the bases. Standard timing here with the Twilight Council and Forge. True. Standard timings. Looking like +1 and Blink. And I believe MasTeR did see the tech. Yeah, there we go. He did confirm the Evo Chamber and the Roach Warren. MasTeR is aware. As he is going to be the aggressor. Now moving in, threatening a shade. There is a massive hole here at the natural. Does it commit? He does. Yeah, he commits into the natural. Link's going to be going down. Sage Trap here on top of the ramp as well. The Sage Trap, it looks like he will finish. Oh, but no major connection, catching out one of the queens. Does catch a queen. Adepts busts into the mineral end, and drones are going to start going down. And so far, not bad. Getting 1, 2, getting up to 3 drone kills. Oh. 3 drones going down. Mining is being denied. Not a bad start, but looks like this is going to be cleaned up. Yeah, Lings, they're now trickling in. Oracle's a little bit late to engage. And Cham holds. Again, not too bad. Only losing 3 drones. 3 drones went down. Behind this, it is indeed going to be Roach Hydra. Plus on range on the way. Upgrades are going to be delayed here because of all the chaos that was ensuing. So later upgrades, a later tech here. Not a bad start out of MasTeR. As behind this, we're transitioning into, again, a more heavy +1 Blink Stalker composition. Likewise, we're also taking it further. Gases are being taken, and we have Storm being the splash damage of choice, not Colossus. So taking up into Storm. So here we are, just again taking it into a more standard direction. This is going to excel against a more Roach Hydra heavy composition. We got the Stalkers for the Roaches, we got the Storm for the Hydras. So far, MasTeR looking good. So far, it's looking good, looking solid. Cham, likewise, I'm curious to see if he does end up droning. Right now, he's up to 66 workers. That is 3 base saturation. So far, that is enough to sustain like an almost maxed out army. Whether or not Cham drones up his 4th base, that is yet to be determined. So 4th base is under fire. And MasTeR does move in, is able to nibble away. Sage Trap gets baited. Nice moves here by Cham. Does bait out the stasis. And MasTeR so far, he's out trading. So far, trading well, but the Hydras, they're building up over time. It's mainly Zerglings. We're mainly throwing away Zerglings. Hydras a mass. MasTeR, he has to respect it. Behind this, still working towards charge. And Cham is droning. Okay. Yeah, Cham is droning up to what, 63? Looking up a little bit further. Sutter stepping in once again, baits out the stasis. And Cham is slowly building up, slowly maxing out. As he gets up to past, or getting up to 80. Getting up to 80 drones. Likewise, MasTeR getting his 4th base. Storm is on the way. So we've had a little bit of pressure here in the mid game. We've been poking, prodding, but now we're fixating purely on army production. And soon it's going to be Cham's turn to push out. As Cham is done droning. You can see Cham throw down extra overlords. Now he can freely max out. Job lords now morphing in. I did notice that overlord speed was just research, and I was curious if that meant job lords. I didn't want to, like, you know, go too far just because I wasn't certain about Cham's style, but no, there it is the answer. It's going for a massive doom drop. 6 job lords morphing in. Let's go. And moves like this can straight up end the game. This is where we're going to be a little bit concerned here for MasTeR to see if he can keep up with the army rotation. MasTeR pokes in. At the same time, Zelaram on the right hand side. Ooh, and Cham's getting torn apart a little bit here. Yeah, force to unload. Force to unload. Decent storm. At the same time, Zel's going to be deflected. Cham's holding on. Yeah, he's holding on. He's keeping up. Zelts are all going down. Storms are connecting, but we're running out of storms. We're running out of storms here. 0 Head Templar left. And Cham breaks through. Takes down the Archon. And he can just keep going. He can just keep going. In the end, we're probably not going to make use of these overlords. Whereas they're still coming. Don't get me wrong. Still on the way. Oh, okay. Still loads up. Can now jump into the natural. Now the MasTer's main army is distracted. Cham picking in. Getting distracting MasTeR, and then here come the drop lords. Okay, here comes the doom drop. Is finally going to be spotted. MasTeR, he does respond. But we're going to unload. Yeah, we're going to unload past the wall as well. Getting into the mineral line. Cham likewise pushing in from behind. Is now maxed out. Oof. And MasTeR will eventually clean this up, but the damage though has already been done. 17, 19 probes. 19 probe kills. GG gets called. MasTeR gets torn apart, and Cham, he'll take game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Cham, with a little bit of flair towards the end there, making use of job lords and then pulling apart his opponents. I will say that MasTeR, I believe he did have the tools to defend his natural, defend his 3rd base as well. But as you saw, his attention was torn apart there. We also saw that Cham didn't sustain too many losses to the Adepts. He only lost 3 drones early on. Ideally, we would have had a little bit more damage dealt there, but Cham, he was able to build up to 80 workers, able to essentially max out and commit across the map. And we spoke about it specifically on Ruby Rock. These max out pushes, they hit that much harder, that much faster, because that shorter rush distance, they do get across the map very, very quickly. GG. GG, well played. And with that, Cham does take a lead, and now we're jumping to game number 2. Gonna be on White Rabbits. Let's go. As spawning in the bottom hand corner of White Rabbits, we have the blue Zerg player. The blue Zerg player himself, the Mexican Zerg representing eGGz Esports. It is Cham. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have the red Protoss player from Atlanta, Brazil, representing Team Hellfire. It is MasTeR. Here we go. As we are going to be opening up. And welcome to a larger map. Welcome to White Rabbits, a larger map of the map pool. I will still say that this map still favors aggression, but in a different way. The rushes to my ground is longer, that is true, but the bases are more spread out. They are more spread out. So as we build up into 4 bases, 4 to 5 to 6, like 4 plus, that is where it can be quite difficult to keep up with aggressive rotations by rotating and keeping up with aggressive army movements. It can be quite difficult here, and as a result we have seen many a player struggle to do so. We'll see if MasTeR does try to go into a longer macro game, if he does try to spice things up a little bit earlier on and try to get more damage done in the mid game. We'll see. Likewise, because the map is so large, this is where mutaplay can be quite impactful here, going into like a Roach Warren into Spire, and then harassing across the map. Otherwise, we could just commit into, once again, just Roach Hydra. No need to deviate. We shall see. Now we are going to join. I know that Cham has been a little more active in recent times in other events. He's been playing a lot in like 2-2 tournaments, for example, or some of the other open cups as well. Been relatively active, and he's been playing a lot with Juanito. Juanito. Who I don't think signed up for this event this time. No, this week. No special. As Cham, he does scout with the drone, okay. Before moving out to expand. Does take the linear third. But he actually stays in gas. Okay, so link speed is on the way and we stay in gas. This is unorthodox. Now, by staying in gas, this can lead into a much earlier lair, or technically this can lead into an earlier Roach Warren as he now pulls out, but this is a late pull out of Cham. It might just be a mistake though. Might just be a bit of a misstep. As we just start another fresh queen. Okay. Interesting. So as a result of that continued gas mining, we do have an excess amount of gas, and we'll see if Cham does anything with it. It can lead into a faster lair, it can lead into a faster Roach Warren, faster Eva chamber, faster upgrades, but so far, there it is. Okay, faster chamber, gonna be +1 melee. It's still a little bit mistimed. It feels almost like Cham felt the need to do something with this gas, and maybe it wasn't intentional that he stayed inside it. But with this +1 melee into Ling Hydra this time, there's a very low chance we go into Roaches. There might be a Roach Warren just to be safe, just in case like Clavideps or Charge were to be an opener. But outside of that, it should just be Ling Hydra. Things I do poke in. That melee upgrade on the way. Getting into the upgrade. This time this is a faster Twilight Council, by the way. Okay, yeah, my attention. Earlier Council, later Forge. There's a chance this is going to be Clavideps. Otherwise, this could be early Blink, but into something more aggressive and earlier Blink timing. We'll see. So far, it is going to be a 4-gate setup. I'm leaning more towards Glaives here, as we do somewhat pull out of gas. Only 2 mining gas. Yep, there it is, Clavideps. So Glaives are on the way. This is much more committed here by MasTeR. At the same time, Links, they poke in, they bring down the depth. They try to. Ooh, they will. That barely goes down. Now, what I will say here is that +1 melee Lings do struggle against MasTeR. This is where you need a Roach Warren, or a Bailey Nest. Oh, speaking of, Bailey Nest gets thrown down. Okay. Cham playing it safe. So Cham does have the tools to defend, but he does need time to react and respond, and to morph in those Bailings. Does need time. Things they attempt to collapse in. We deflected. Will be deflected. We do have more adepts morphing in, and now it's go time. How many do we have? 13. So 13 adepts are moving out. As they move out, Lings they move in. Their oracles are back at home to defend. But this also means that we won't be having the oracles support the adepts across the map. True. Yeah, the oracles are out of energy. They're stuck at home. There's going to be a weaker assault as a result. Back at home, we're morphing in 5 banelings already. Cham is ready. Oh, don't commit. Don't okay. Don't commit to the shade, pappy. Yeah, the banelings are ready. Lings, they collapse in. And banelings, they do connect. And with that, they have MasTeR's going to be cleaned up. He's going to be completely cleaned up here. Remember, these are +1 melee lings. Get a full surround. They have minimal or just increased surface area on those adepts. They get caught out in the open. And with that, we just shut everything down. And MasTeR falls behind. Remember, because of this, late +1, late blink, late transition, late gases, like everything is later here for MasTeR. I think he's vulnerable to a counterattack. Yeah, he's vulnerable. Initial Sulker goes down. Behind this infestation pit's interesting. I'm curious if that's for a hive for Ultra Tech. It's quite rare to see Ling into Ultra, but that is something that we used to see a couple of years ago. Ooh, face goes off. And I think that's going to be the play, just because, yeah, double Eva chamber, minimal gases. Yep, we're rushing into the hive. We're rushing ultras. Okay. This is a style that Dark was very fond of back in the day. This would have been during the Ancient Sister map pool, so around like 2021, 2022 era of StarCraft, where Dark, he would mix in a build like this to go just mass Ling into ultra. It is heavily reliant on staying on a bit of a lower drone count early on into mass Lings. The goal there would be to keep the Protoss player pinned back at home, to keep them busy at home, to not allow them to harass across the map. Here we got 6 drone kills. Nice damage here by MasTeR. Does get 6 workers. And MasTeR is building up his stalkers. Still can't quite move out without Storm. Storm just now began. Would be risky to do so. As we're going to neural? Hey, okay. That I was not expecting. Don't think there's anything too neural, but sure. Why not? And there's that Ultra Cavern. As I mentioned, just mass Ling into Ultra. It's an old build, but it checks out. Let's check out. And again, this kind of build only works when you have map control. As you can see, MasTER's been stuck at home. He's been stuck at home due to the Glaive Adept build falling on its face. And of course, Cham's Ling movement. Just trying to buy time. Again, Cham is vulnerable to a push at the moment. We have, what, do we have Baneling speed? Yeah, no Baneling speed, for example. There's no Roach Warren, there's no Hydrogen. It's almost a pure Ling defense, with 18 Banelings now morphing in. Oof. As these things are going to be thrown away. MasTeR commits in. And Banelings, can they get on top of the High Templar? Again, they're slow Banes. Oh no, they're slow. Oh my god, they connect. Jesus. Yeah, massive connections. All the High Templar go down. And now we just need Zerglings. Now we just need Zerglings here. We surround one of the Archons. There's one Archon left. With reinforcements, MasTeR can maintain this position. And he's overwhelming. Yeah, he does overwhelm. He does break through. Cham, he was too greedy. Too greedy, pappy. Zell's taking it into the mineral line. Hatchery goes down. We have some safety infestors on the way. We have kindness plating here, but no ultras. Cham, he can't afford it. He's got 1 ultralist on the way. Yeah, getting into 1 ultralisk. So Stalker starts stepping forward, gets into the mineral line. More drones going to be going down, and this is critical damage. Even with that 1 ultra popping out, it should not be enough. The upgrades are not good enough to sustain it. Infestors, I mean, we can neural the Archons, I suppose. I doubt. can Euro the Archons and then try to commit. Lock down the army. And again, MasTeR is maxing out. He's maxing out. Would you land a fungal bait as they connect? Well, it should not be enough. It should not be enough. Plenty of stalkers. We got one ultra going in, and now we can just hunt it down. And with that, GG gets called. MasTeR will tie the series 1-1. Whew. GG. We're going to the ace match. We're going to game 3 again. As we mentioned, this was a very greedy build here by Cham, and it is heavily reliant on the Protoss player staying home. It is heavily reliant on them staying home, because if there's ever any kind of breakout moments, then back at home you have nothing to defend. You're not ready, not without those ultras. And Cham was getting there, but he needed more time. Did need more time. GG, well played. With that, we have a series, we have a back and forth. MasTeR showing that you can't be hyper greedy in such a way and not be punished. Nah, not against MasTeR. As it leads us into the ace match, and spawning in the top left-hand corner of 10,000 feet, we have the blue Zerg player. We have the Mexican Zerg representing eGGz Esports. It is Cham. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Protoss himself, the Brazilian Protoss for Team Hellfire. It is MasTeR. So you're an animal in the chat, Pap. You're an animal. Ay. As from here, we are going to be opening up. Welcome to 10,000 feet. 10,000 feet is a smaller map of the map pool, but very defensive. Getting up to 2, 3, 4 bases is very secure, so you can just set up and just hunker down. But as I mentioned before, MasTeR, he isn't really much of a defensive player. He wants to be active. He wants to be aggressive. He wants to be in your face. I would hope that he does adjust certain styles here. I would hope that he would adjust his style and be a little bit more defensive here on 10,000 feet, as the map does favor that kind of play. I would hope. Now that we have our probe scouts, hatch gas pool out of Cham. Have our initial hatch gas pool. So far, so good. Now, we have seen MasTeR mix up the follow-up here from the Stargate a little bit so far in this series. Game 1, we saw just a standard follow-up out of the Stargate opener. Game 2, we saw Glaive Adepts, which were mixed in their success, to the point where I would say, no, they weren't very successful, like they did fall in their face. This time, we could open Charge, for example. We could just play Standard once again. Could be greedy, go Void Ray first, true. We could open up Stargate into Void Ray, into a faster Fleet Beacon. We'll see. As there's that Stargate. So this is going to be the Stargate. At the same time, we do have a pylon block here across the map to delay the expand. Ideally, buying time for the Adept. The Adept does arrive, and do we snipe the drone? And we expand elsewhere. Okay. Never mind. Cham does expand here on the top side, so he's not going to be too delayed. Does mean that Cham, he's going to be a little bit less aggressive and less assertive. By going for the forward base, you can spread creep across the map a little bit faster. Here, it's going to be slower. So instead, Adept does pull away, just taking the natural. We can see Cham pulled out of gas, so we're not rushing into early. Yeah, this time we're not rushing into early plus on melee. True. Cham doesn't have the gas for it. It's looking more like a roach heavy start. I mean, hey, we have seen German taxis on this map. True. can work well. So now our players back off. MasTeR does take that center expansion. Going double Oracle. And it is going to be an earlier Twilight Council. Okay. Pretty early council. We'll keep an eye on the Forge timing. There is a chance we might even just go Glaive Adepts 2 games in a row. We'll see, because yeah, again, as you can see here, late Forge. 3rd and 4th Gateway. Well, we're leaving 3 and 3 in gas. Last time when we saw Glaive Adepts, we did pull one off. One was pulled out of gas. Here we are, all in. Going up to extra gateways here, getting it to 5. Last game was only 4. So extra gateways charge? Are you going into a Zealot all in? No, it's going to be Blink. With even more gateways. Okay, so this looks like a 3 base 8 gate all in. I'm jumping ahead a little bit here, but to throw down 4 gateways, to have 2 already done, this is 6 already. We're going to get a 7th gateway, and then ideally a proxy 8th gateway in the center into a 3 base all in. Let's go. Now, unfortunately here for MasTeR, Cham, he is getting into a Roach heavy composition. Roaches are amassing, +1 range on the way. And if Cham drones up too much, he's going to be in trouble, but he's not really one that drones. He doesn't drone. Like, not too much. And there it is. So we have 2 more gates being thrown down. We have our 8 gate setup. Let's go. So that's 8 gateways here already. Ideally, you have the 8th gateway proxied here in the center, so then you can reinforce even faster across the map. Technically, that could be a 9th gateway, I suppose, but yeah, all 8 gateways are back at home instead. So this will delay the reinforcements. But we have confirmation it is an all-in. So it's a 3 base 8 gate all-in. There's our pylon. So it looks like the plan is to get a proxy 9th gateway to be able to reinforce. As more stalkers move in, nice setup there with stasis traps. And Cham, he didn't overdrone in Jungle 65. They cut workers early, Lings are being dealt with, the roaches are becoming exposed, and we can't afford to lose roaches. Oh, not like this, losing one. One roach goes down. One stalker reinforcement so far. 1 stalker has fallen. Just 1. Oh, there we go. 2nd stalker falls. Does 3. Yeah, 3 stalkers going down. Nice figures here by Cham. And Cham just has to hold on. He's got to hold. There's a 9th gateway. Getting into 9. Charge has begun. As we can charge, the army does start forward. Once again, sending back the stalkers, buying more time. The longer this goes on, the better it is for the Zerg. Bookie the Bass. And MasTeR is being outscaled. And it's being outscaled here. Oof. Losing another stalker. Ravagers, they managed to morph in. Files a zone, and Cham is about to max. He's about to max out. At the same time, he does get a counterattack. Okay, does hit the 3rd. Catching out 7 probes, distracting MasTeR, forcing a defensive warp in. Yeah, now we commit. Now we commit in. Just collapsing on even more stalkers, and this is too many losses. Oh my god. Down to how many? Down to 20 stalkers. Again, down to barely an army. Cham this entire time getting a 4th, getting a 5th base up running as well. He's got plenty of larva. He has all the larva. Cham cleans up all the zealots. Once again, picks up even more stalkers. Heavy losses from MasTeR. Lings a counterattack once again, just ensuring that another defensive warp in. Catching a probe. And this way Cham is held. Cham he has held. He was able to counterattack across the map, but able to defend back at home. The losses here are just too great. MasTeR never gained any grounds. Again, Cham was playing safe from the beginning. Just playing it safe. It's calming down. eGGz gets called, and Cham, he will claim the series 2-1, advancing on to the semi-finals. eGGz. eGGz well played. Cham, he will claim the series. Again, it was an interesting build here by MasTeR. I mean, I'm not opposed to going for like 8k3 base all-ins. We saw that it was a little bit delayed because we got all 8 gateways back at home and we proxied a 9th gateway instead, so that did delay things. But on top of that, we saw that Cham was going for a safer build anyway. He did decide to open up roaches. He went for an early roach warren into a roach heavy style. If Cham had gone into Ling Hydra, then he'd be in more trouble here, of course, but it was more roach heavy, and we saw that he was able to build up and amass up his roaches, his ravagers as well. Only ever really traded his zerglings, and even had the wherewithal to counterattack and force defensive weapons, which made the main army weaker, and he also was able to cripple the economy to weaken reinforcements as well. So over time it all fell apart. The longer the game went on, the better it was for Cham, and eGGz. eGGz all played in the end. Cham, he shut down the all-in, he defends, he survives, he'll claim the series, but shout out to MasTeR for making a series out of it. Did go all the way to the A smash, did go the distance before being knocked out. eGGz. eGGz well played. That leads us into the semis. We're going to be following Cham into the semi-finals to face off against his next opponent, another Brazilian player. In the quarterfinals, he faced off against MasTeR. In the semis, it is going to be inexorable, the best Terran in all of Brazil. Let's go. Let us go. We're going to be jumping into game number 1. We're going to be loading into Tourmaline. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Tourmaline, we have the Brazilian Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing insane MasTeR killers. It is inexorable. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Zerg player, the Mexican Zerg representing eXeritus Esports. It is Cham. Let's go. Let us go. We're jumping into now a different matchup here at ZVT, and this is where Cham, likewise, is also often very roach heavy. Is often can be more aggressive, though. I will say we often do see, like, say, early pulls, early roach warren timings, early aggression by Cham, and especially here on Tourmaline, aggression is favored early on. Speaking of, inexorable does open up 2 racks of Reaper. Okay. So it looks like inexorable plans on being the aggressor here in this first game. Again, shorter rush distance, more open bases, open third, open fourth base, open area in between the bases as well. We'll see what inexorable can accomplish. Again, I can't recall the last time that we've casted Cham versus Inexorable. It feels like they almost kind of pass by each other in terms of their rise to prominence. Inexorable, he's more of a younger and more recent addition to the pro scene in Latin America. I want to say he rose up like around 2023, 2024? Yeah, I want to say like 2024 share of StarCraft. Remember, he was being coached by Miguelito, by Vindicta, and by Future at the time. So Inexorable, he was improving quite quickly, quite rapidly. That was, of course, back when Inexorable was on the Planet of Heroes, which again was a couple of years ago. It's kind of when he first hit the scene, and that was when Cham was much less active, of course. It's only recently that Cham started playing again, after a long break. And we'll see if we can keep up. Initial Reaper does pick forward. Yeah, pokes in. Link speed is on the way. Cham does pull out of gas. But Cham, he does manage to sneak out a third. Okay. Sneaks out the third base. Reapers, they can apply pressure, but at this one it's too late. There's too much progression. They cannot force a cancel. Oh, as inexorable does overextend, one Reaper goes down. That should not have happened. Behind this, making another Reaper, actually. Okay, we were supposed to get up to 5. It's going to be 4. Only 4 Reapers. Again, that's not enough to force a cancel on the hatchery. Not enough damage output. As that 4th Reaper is on the way. Back at home, we have a 3 CC setup here. It's going to be a 3 CC 2-on-1. Now, the scariest thing and the scariest moment here for inexorable is going to be the early to mid game. What I mean by that is specifically because of the production setup and the build of choice, the Raxes are exposed, right? And we're going into add-ons. Tech Lab, into Stim, into Combat Shields. This production is going to be vulnerable, and if Cham were to go for a Roach all in, then he could overwhelm, for sure. We can see here that Cham does pull a little bit earlier into the gases. Interesting. And we'll see what that's going to be used for. Lings are poking across the map. They just get us around anyway. True. Reapers will defend. It's going to be close. Does force a cancel. Very nice. Again, Stim is the bread and butter here of the 2-on-1, so it's heavily delayed. We force not the cancel. Oh. Going for the reactor this time. But does have to respect the army. Double stop. Wait, what? We revealed double racks and we were revealing Stim, but that is double starport. 2-port Banshee or 2-port BC? What? Show us the fusion core, I suppose. That's crazy. No fusion core, so it looks like 2-port Banshee here out of inexorable. Huh. Yeah, high rotors into Cloak. This often leads into mech of all things. And yeah, that's why there's no Stim. So it looks like, so the initial plan was to go for a 2-on-1. Because Stim was delayed so heavily, we're just abandoning Stim. We're just abandoning it. I'm just going for a concussive shell. I believe the plan here is to cancel to go into mass Banshee, then into mech. So this upgrade should be a fake out. We'll see if it finishes. So crazy response here by inexorable. The issue being, of course, that Cham does slip into base. Oh, he does slip in. He waddles into the mineral land as well. And behind this, we're link flooding. Behind this, we are link flooding. Cham gets into the mineral line. 15 probes, for 15. That he's going to be going down. Cham gets a full scout as well. Yeah, he gets a full scout of what's going on. And behind this, here come another wave of Zerglings. Yeah, more Lings are moving out. Cham is now fully aware. He's fully aware of the double starports. Behind the spores are being thrown down. More queens. Cham does pivot away. Now does pivot back. Coming in for a surround. We got plenty of queens here against that Banshee. Spore is now on the way. First one is going to be cancelled. We have another Spore moving in. And we just surround. Yeah, we do got a full surround. Remember, there's no Stim. No Stim. No upgrades. Combat. Concussive shell finished. Oh, god. That was not supposed to happen. Let's transfuse. Banshees are denied. And Stim is never going to finish. It's never going to finish this game. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, we get a surround. Deny Stim. GG gets called. And Cham, he will take game number 1. GG. Whew. GG will play. Cham takes lead in the series. Once again, a very unique build here by inexorable to go for the attempted 2-on-1, for that to be delayed, and then to go double starport play and double starport Banshee. Unfortunately, again, he got scouted. Cham, he went for his own bust. Essentially, he went for his own Bane bust, got into the main base, got a full scout of what was going on, and prepared back at home with a high queen count and with spores as well. GG. GG. Cham, he was ready for it, and that leads us into game number 2. And spawning in the bottom hand corner of White Rabbits, we have the blue Terran player. We have the Brazilian Terran representing Insane Master Killers down in the series. We'll see if we can bounce back and force that ace match. It is inexorable. And spawning in the right hand corner, we have the red Zerg player, the red Zerg player himself representing Exotis Esports. It is Cham. Go. As we are once again opening up on the low ground. So it looks like another 2x Reaper opener here by eGGz. This can turn into a 2-on-1, 3cc 2-on-1. We have seen players like Maru go 2x Reaper and then bam into double factory in the main base and go for a big mech transition. So there are some variations here post 2x Reaper, but for now it does seem like the same opener out of eGGz. I'll see if eGGz can get a little bit more damage this time. If you remember last game, he failed to cancel the third as he lost his first Reaper. Let's see what happens this time. As we have taken our gases, and I don't see a second Rax. Huh. This is not 2x Reaper. Do we get Rax expand into factory? Plan here. No, it's going to be Rax Factory into expand. Okay. So we're going to be prioritizing the wall, and unlike the previous game, this time we are prioritizing the factory as well. So much faster factory here on the low ground. Similar to last game though, once again, all the production is exposed here on the low ground as well. So it does mean that it's going to be more vulnerable to a Bane Bust or a Roach All-In. That's for sure. Reaper does pick in. Nice pick off. Gets one. Gets one drone. Doing another. Not quite. Two drone. Oh my god. Okay. Two drones going down. Very nice damage. Gets a second drone. Do we get a third? Not quite. Warping in the Spore, the Gas Geyser, and another Spore. Oh my god. Very close. Yeah, very close, very clutch. In the end, Cham he will defend, but a messy defense here out of Cham, losing two drones. That should not have happened. Meanwhile, Link Speed is on the way, pulls out of gas, and back at home it is going to be for now. Reaper helling into a 1-1-1. Okay, a very aggressive start here with faster factory production and now faster starport production as well. Very aggressive. We'll see if this leads into Banshees or something more sinister. Reaper's going to be deflected. We got 16 Lings on the way. So let's a lot of Lings. We're going for a Ling Flood. Cham is Ling Flooding. Oh, we already taken out one of the Hellions. Yeah, Queen is exposed. eGGz is tempted. He does snipe the Queen, but it's going to cost him the Reapers. It'll cost him all the Reapers here. And now it's go time. Cham floods across the map. Behind this, he starts to drone up. The goal here is to take over the natural, though, and once again, pick off these add-ons. Does want the add-ons. Going straight for the tech lab. Helen's been buying time. Trying to. Boys are pulled to repair, and the Cyclone will pop out, but it's going to be one Cyclone against all these Lings. The Marines will help. Marines will help. Picking up the reactor. Behind this, Cham is droning. And eGGz is going for his own third CC after Starport. Medevac first, though. No Banshee play. He wants to go for drops. Going for the drop instead. Hoping to catch out Overlords. He does get spotted. Cham is aware. Back at home, Cham is taking gases, taking up into his own lair. There is almost done. And our drone count is still lacking, though. I will say that. We're still undersaturated at the third base. Gas is not being taken. It's still very messy here for Cham. Very messy. So once again, those force workers off the mineral line. Oh, and it is going to be a very fast lair. Okay, very fast lair here by Cham. Again, off of 4 gases. Jumping to the main base. We'll get a Queen. Oh, no, he wants it. Oh my god. Queen will survive. Just barely. And with that, Cham is going to get away with his meters. Still unscouted. Direct does boost in. Nothing to see. On the main. But looks like we'll get eyes on this at the natural. Very nice here. So inexorable, he does confirm the Spire. He's now fully aware. He now knows. Boosting back home. He does boost back. Third base is now being taken. We should soon be seeing turrets run down here in inexorable. Assuming that he's aware of what he saw. As the aggression continues. Going for the Overlord. I know. Oof. Yes, the Overlord will survive. Second goes down. And I'm concerned because I still don't see any turrets. At the same time, though, I don't see any mutas. Spire is done. But no meter production. And this may just be because Cham knows he got scouted. So he's giving inexorable a lot of credit here. Right, now we have our turrets on the way. Now with that, we have our 7 meters in production, so Cham is now getting to meter play. It took a little bit longer here, and it has given inexorable a lot of time to prepare. We have turrets in the natural, we have turrets at the third, turrets in the main base. Turrets are ready, Wooden Mine production has begun, and inexorable is building up all things anti-air. And he's preparing for the meters. And Cham is going to be hard-pressed to find much damage with these Mutalisks. I'm not saying that he never will, like we can still pick away at the add-ons in the main base, or go for the gas mining workers. It's not going to be easy there. So now he does move out. Oh. Angel Over gets spotted. And Cham has to be careful, the army cannot fight head on. Oh. And Cham pulls away. Buying more time, building up his link main. Bailing speed is still only halfway done. Once again, really nice Liberator harass. Liberators have been doing well. They've been doing very, very well for themselves. They've been very annoying. Didn't so. What's going on? That's what reminds Zubari catching the Queen. Cham commits. And these medevacs, they cannot get out of here. Oof. A heavy loss of inexorable. Boost is now on cooldown. Yeah, Boost is on cooldown, and everything's gonna be cleaned up. Ay, ay, ay. Losing all 3 medevacs. There's no escaping this. And inexorable, he plummets in supply. Didn't have to commit. He didn't have to. As inexorable tries to defend. Cham is almost maxed out. Building up more link pain. And Cham doesn't even need the muse to defend anymore. Not anymore. Drilling close is denied, now getting to the mineral lines. Turrets are being focused down. He's gonna get ulti, he's gonna get both. He's gonna get both turrets. Oof. Bailey's they smash in. We have more Bailey's where that came from. We have plenty. Yeah, Bailey's they connect. They smash in inexorable. GG gets called, and Cham, he will claim the series 2-0, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. GG, well played. Again, a very bold move for an eGGz to push. He knew that there were mutas, but he still moved out with a triple drop, which meant that it was a one-way trip. It meant that there was a way to completely shut that down, completely clean that up. It almost felt like an eGGz was playing a little bit like on autopilot, in the sense that against any other composition, going for a push like that would be fine and would not be punished. You'd just be able to pick up and leave, but not against mutas. They can chase you down. They can chase you down. That did cost a lot of supply there for an eGGz, and then it'll just kind of snowball out of control. But GG, well played. With that, Cham, he'll advance on to the grand finals to face off against his final opponent here. This time it's going to be a best of 5, not a best of 3, but again, a shout out to eGGz for competing here against Cham, and there were definitely some good moments for sure, but in the end was overwhelmed, was punished at times. Cham does play a much more aggressive style, as you've seen here. GG, well played. Up next, it is going to be a ZVZ, so we're going through all 3 matchups. Initially, Cham was up against MasTeR, and they did have a back and forth, went to the ace match. The second series here was against Terran, was against an eGGz. Now for the third time, it is going to be, or for the third series, it is going to be eGGz. El Huevito up against Cham. Oh boy. Here we go. Now, likewise, I haven't really been able to cast eGGz in a tournament in a long time. He used to be a very active player. He used to be like the up-and-comer in the Latin American region, just below Cham in terms of skill. Like, eGGz, he was up there. Like, I'm referring to like 2023 ish era StarCraft. And then he kind of stopped competing as much. He stepped away from the game a little bit, focusing a little bit more on studies instead. And that is where eGGz excel, of course. But it meant that he took a massive break, took a big break here from the game. Recently has come back and has been streaming quite a bit. But here we go. Spawning in the right hand corner of Tourmaline, we have the Colombian Zerg player. The Colombia, papi. The blue Zerg, it is eGGz. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Mexican Zerg player, the red Zerg representing eGggz Esports. It is Cham. Fabulous. Here we go, as both players do open up hatch first. Again, we're expecting a lot of aggression between these two. In general, ZVZ rarely goes into the mid game, and we expect early pool timings, early Evo chamber timings, early Roach timings here out of our 2 players. We'll see. For now, hatch gas pool. Everything's looking normal. Catching up. The queen, aye. No, like this. Hey, Kate, you mean the thing that killed Kai? Oh no. Does the mortar attack affect buildings or only units? So Biles, they hit whatever. They can do friendly fire. They can attack buildings. They hit things in the air, of course, as well. The projectiles. See, papi, see. Sorry, just catching up with the chat. I shout to get ya for explaining some things about Univision. Gas. Sí, Cham. He's on fuego, papi, on fuego. For now, again, hatch gas pool, we are getting to link speed. Looks like we are pulling back into gas though. Okay, so Cham, he will have excess gas more than normal. This typically signifies a greater commitment into tech, say an earlier Roach Horn or an early Evo chamber. For now, we're going for standard Baliness timings, but again, Cham does have that slight economic or gas edge over his opponent. eGGz being a little bit more efficient, as it looks like a much more standard build here by eGGz. Was a fan out. Third base is being taken. Again, we'll see how we build up. eGGz, he was a little bit supply blocked here, so he did have to extract a trick. So a bit of a supply block. From here, we should soon be seeing Roach Warrens. from our players. Like safe man at the scouts, and it is going to be Evo Chamber first out of eggs. Okay, it does go for the slightly earlier Evo Chamber, but again, should still be getting into roaches. Baling is kept alive, doesn't get wasted. There it is, as that roach warren here for Cham, but again, Eric will have the faster upgrade, and we're leading towards +1 range with this. No carrot. Okay, +1 carapace. This looks like more of an aggressive all-in here from eggs. Carapace timings are very popular when it comes to eGGz, the solar build, of course. Usually this is done earlier though. Usually we see an earlier carapace, an earlier Evo chamber behind the gas guys or behind the mineral line to hide the build. Here it's all just on the front door. It's all just revealed here to Cham, if Cham would have scouted, and he did.
Forces under attack.
So Cham is aware. Eggs will have that upgrade advantage. From here we're just droning, saturating. Faster layer on the way here for Cham. Going into +1 carapace in such a way here should lead into a hashtag all-in. As you can see, eggs has no layer. So roach production has begun, and now we can soon flood across the map. Oh, nice control by eggs, does not lose the bailing. But again, Cham, he sees this, he knows. Like Cham, upon seeing the wall here, like this is a bit of a tell. He starts his own upgrade at Cham. We cannot drone more from here. He's already droned up heavily. He's already getting up to 3-base saturation. Greedy moves here by Cham. And Eggs is all in. Eggs, he's all in. Either he kills Cham or he dies trying. Remember, the longer this game goes on, the better it's going to be for Cham. Circlings, they poke in. Cham making nothing but roaches. And roaches are massing for Cham. Roach speed is on the way. As Eggs is moving in. Oh. Yeah, it does move in, does get into all the roaches, and with that Eggs he commits. Yeah, with that he does commit in. Still again flooding across the map. Eggs is, he's committed. Oh, but with the defense advantage, Cham, he is squeezing out a couple of extra roaches with the help of the queen as well. Cham, he does have the better concave, actually. Oof. Yeah, better concave, better setup. More efficient fight out of Cham, and Cham is holding. Cham is holding on. And this is looking bleak here for Eggs. Cham is even droning in the middle of this. No shot. He starts droning up, but I was concerned that Cham was too greedy. I was concerned he was too greedy, but in the end, he is still able to get away with this. Please add a couple of extra roaches towards the end. Cham breaks through here. Everyone's roach speed is now kicking in, +1 range on the horizon as well. And Cham is falling behind. He's falling far behind here. Nice round with those lings. They trade efficiently. But again, Eggs, he has no longevity in this game. Not anymore. Not anymore. As Eggs, he's down to 46 workers. He's under 3-base saturation. Minimal gases, minimal droning. You can see here, no saturation at the natural base either. That's intentional. It was just all in. And now Cham is outscaling. Burrows on the way. Tunneling claws. Infestation pit as well. A little bit greedy here from Cham. I don't think we need the pits at least. But he can soon just A-move. Soon send that baby. And again, I'm impressed that there it is. GG gets called. There's no final fight, as Eggs was too far behind, and Cham takes game number 1. GG. But again, I was a little bit surprised that that Cham was able to hold on in time there. Again, he was droning up quite heavily. Cut workers at 65, that is 3-base saturation, and then did start that roach production just in time. He was able to barely hold on and then just snowball from there. GG. with that, that leads us here into game number 2, going to be loading into White Rabbits. I do feel like this is also partially because the Evo chamber was revealed. Remember, we didn't take note that Cham scouted the chamber. We also confirmed the chamber as well, whereas often when you go for this build, you hide the Evo chamber a little bit further back because you're already telegraphing to your opponents that you're going for an earlier upgrade timing. So at least the timing, if not an all-in. So again, eGGz, he was very brazen with his building placement and with just showing what he was doing. And now we're getting to game number 2. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of White Rabbits, we have the blue Zerg player from the land of Colombia. He is down in the series. Can he bounce back and make a series out of this? It is eGGz. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the red Zerg player from representing eGGz Esports from the land of Mexico. It is Cham. Here we go. Welcome to now a larger map in the map pool, longer rush distance by ground. As a result, all-ins are a little bit less favorable here, but we can still be aggressive in other ways, whether it's with Ling aggression, whether it's with Mutaplay as well. Mutaplay has been very dominant in ZBZ, especially post-patch, with the buffs to the Muta, with the buff to the Spire tech, of course. Then does mean that Mutaplay is very much so a big influencing factor in ZBZ. And we'll see if we can get there. As I'm sure we'll be seeing mutas at some point in the series. At some point. But now, standard openers, hatch gas pool. There's no like 12 pool or 12-11 or 13-12 or 14-14. It's all normal. So I'm just dying a little bit. From here, we're going to be opening up. It is going to be an initial hatch gas pool into Ling speed. We can see that once again, eGGz pulls out of gas. Meanwhile, Cham stays in. Now, we actually took note of this last game as well, where it is more efficient to pull one worker out of gas because you don't need that much gas income early on, just because you're prioritizing and mainly relying on Lings and Queens, so you can drone up a little bit faster, you have a better economy. eGGz have that slight edge over Cham last game. Here, once again, Cham stays in gas. So usually it's something you don't see at this level of play. As Cham does go for his Bailey Nest. eGGz a little bit late to get his own. As we can afford it. Oh, and we see why eGGz is going for a Roach all in. Risky maneuver here by eGGz, but there we go. Now we see why there's no Bailey Nest. He does throw down the Roach one, pulls back in the gas, is going for a Ling Roach all in, and we'll see if Cham does take note of what's going on. We shall see. Now, once again, just like last game, eGGz, he wants Cham to drone, but Cham, he's making 14 Lings behind this. Oh, yeah, Cham is going to be aggressive. Bailey's going to be morphing across the map. Cham, he wants that third base. And in doing so, eGGz is very vulnerable. Without Bailings, he cannot fight against the Ling Bane of Cham. Not this early on. Yes, he's going for a Roach all in, but it does take a little bit longer for that to really kick in. And Cham does hit the third. At the same time, eGGz does go for a counterattack. Queen gets rounded. Nice figure. Does get the Queen, but at the same time, eGGz will lose the base. He'll lose the expand. Base is going to go down. Oh, Bailey does waddle into the mineral line. No major connections. Cham defends back at home, and he does kill the third. Now he wants the Queens. He wants them. Oh, has to respect the Broodlings. Does have to respect. Roaches are now revealed. He knows. He does with the Roaches. He's now aware of the all-in, and now the win condition for Cham is survive. Just survive. Cancels all the Bailings. He does race back home to defend. He turns back around. I guess all or nothing for eGGz. As X pulls away, Cham comes in for the full surround, and he does lock down the roaches. Every roach here is going to fall. Oh, brutal losses here for eggs. Banelings A zoned away. And there's no saving these roaches. Like, no shot. no shot. Not like this. As the final Ravager gets surrounded. Oof. Does in a pile. And again, Chammy's up a base, up in lava. He is equivalent on workers, if not slightly behind. That's fine. Okay, he's ahead in other aspects. We see eggs eventually did get a Baneling nest, eventually, to try to keep up. And we'll see if he can hold on to his third. Yeah, Cham starts his own roach production. Cham, he himself is now all in. It's all in, baby. So we'll link to the mineral line. Cham, sorry, eGGz does catch Cham out. Let's catch him out. Meanwhile, 2 more drones going down. Not bad. And again, eGGz is counterattacking into roaches, though. And now there are roaches to defend. And again, these roaches are going to be ideal as the backbone to the army. We have plenty of Lingbane here to defend. And these roaches are here to tank. They're here to tank, they're here to focus down. Ideally, they're able to focus on the Banelings. Oh, ooh, brutal connection. The Banelings, they connect. And with that nice focus firing. Oh, Cham pulls away his Zerglings. Yeah, he does pull away. Meanwhile, his own roaches, they do get surrounded for a moment, but not enough Zerglings. Not enough Zerglings here. Cham holds. Cleans up the Banelings. Shuts down the roaches, and then counterattacks. Then does counterattack. Back at home, there's nothing to defend. Queen gets caught. There was one Baneling in the mineral line. And at this point, it's just a numbers game. At this point, again, the eGGz need to pull off like a Baneling run by maybe, getting to a mineral line and killing all these drones. If you were to kill these workers, then maybe that had a chance to macro out of this. But as it stands, Cham is in the driver's seat. He has momentum. He's moving in. Oh my god. Calm down. So now Cham is joining up back at home, building his roaches. I do think that Cham just could have committed, but Cham is just playing a little bit safer here by teching. Layers on the way, joining back at home, building out more roaches as well. So the game is going to continue here, but Cham does have a substantial lead. Now, as the game progresses, there are going to be opportunities here for eGGz to recover. As you can see here, we are getting ready for a Baneling run by. There's a world where if he can get into these mineral lines, whether it's in the natural, in the main base, or at the third, then there is a world where he can try to recover economically and make a game out of this. But there are roaches ready. Ta-da. Nice bait out of Cham. Baits out of Baneling. Cham distracting, gets in, and gets 1 drone. 1, 2 workers. That does force away the roaches. That creates an opening for the Banelings. Speaking of Banelings, they attempt to bottle in. Cham, he is somewhat in position. He gets it. Oh my god, massive connections. 20 drones! 20 drones go down. Ay. Lings in the main base. Lings distracting at the natural. Then in the Banelings, they did waddle in, and in the end, Cham gets further ahead here. 28 drones going down. Insane damage. 28 workers. And Cham was already ahead, now getting further ahead. Now establishing a 4th base, building more roaches, plus 1 range on the way. More upgrades, 2nd EVA chamber, 1-1 upgrades. And eGGz, it's all or nothing at this point. He knows that he's too far behind, so he's just going to be sending everything he can across the map. One final attack, one final push. eGGz waddling in. The one advantage that eGGz has is faster roach speed. But as the defending player, roach speed doesn't really matter as much. Ready where you need to be. Back at home. eGGz does move in. Forced to commit. Again, plenty of roaches to defend here for Cham. And he can just step forward. He can and he will. Steps forward. Chases down the roaches. Alas, he has to wait for his own roach speed to move out. So until then, he's stuck at home. Until then, pappy. So again, catching up more roaches. And should soon move out. So we can see drop lords now morphing in. So there should be a sign here of multi-pronged aggression. Just waiting for the dropper lords. Cham, he's maxing out. Maxing out. Yo, shout out. Infestation is on the way. That'll be for infestors. I mean, you can make up for having a small army with infestors. That is true, but it should be too late. As Cham is waddling in. 200 supply. Again, all of this came down to the failed all-in. Remember, how did this begin? It all began with eGGz going for the early roach horn into the early roach all-in, which got shut down because Cham was not droning. Cham was going for his own ling aggression as well. So the builds, they just worked in favor of Cham from the beginning. Gave Cham the advantage, and eGGz, he, again, wasn't quite able to recover. Cham's working in. At the same time, it does get across the map. GG gets called, and Cham, he takes a 2-0 lead in the series. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, eGGz, he was the one this time going for the all-in, going for the aggression, but he got completely shut down by the mass Lingfoot here of Cham, getting surrounded, losing all of his roaches, and just getting outscaled. And with that, we saw Cham just get further ahead, deal more economic damage with his Ling-Bane counterattacks. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're getting to game number 3, going to be loading into Ruby Rock. Oh boy, the pressure is on eGGz here, and we'll see how desperate we become, if at all. It's okay, we're good. He's droning. For a moment there was no drone in production. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have the South Korean. We have the Colombian Zerg player, the blue Zerg. Oh. Down in the series, we'll see if he can bounce back and make a series out of this. It is eGGz. El huevito, papi, el huevito. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Zerg player from LatAm, Mexico, representing eGGz Esports. It is Cham. Let's go. Let us go. We did have a slight variation when it comes to our openers here, as we had an extractor trick out of Cham, meanwhile standard opener out of eGGz, but nothing crazy. Both players are droning. They're both saturating into their own early game. Initially, Cham, he was a little bit late to make his first drone, so I thought that we might be seeing a 12 full, but he made the later drone in the end. And everything's more or less looking standard. But we got here in a slightly different way, only slightly. From here, our player is going to be opening up. Gasless? Okay. So, hatch gas full at a Cham, eGGz going gasless. So, gasless openers here in eGGz typically mean that we're going to be walling up on 2 bases. We're going to be opening up without link speed, of course, and either going into 2-base lair into mutas or 2-base roaches. And this could lead into a 2-base roach all-in or 2-base roach setup into a lair into a 3rd expansion. So, we've got kind of like 3 different paths here. mutas, all-in, or slower macro play. But it's all on 2 bases. Now, because this map is so small, because we're loading into Ruby Rock, I would say that all-ins, 2-base all-ins are very viable here on Ruby Rock, so that is a very real option that eGGz can go for. But that'll be after he walls off. So now it's just going to be saturating. Again, eGGz should have that greater mineral income early on. Link speed is on the way for Cham. Gas is now being taken for eGGz. Now, typically, once Cham realizes what's going on, it is, if possible, it is better to cancel link speed. Just cancel link speed and go straight into roach production and go straight for your own lair. But Cham actually didn't make any Zerglings. Ooh, okay. Greedy moves here out of Cham. No Zerglings to scout, so there won't be any confirmation. Yeah, Queens are denying vision, denying the Overlord. And we'll soon see the tech of choice, whether we go into the lair or the Roach Horn first. Speaking of roaches, okay, Cham does go for his Roach Horn. I mean, Cham is aware that it's going to be 2-base play. Why is that? Overlords. Overlord checking the 3rd location at both sites. Cham getting his own standard 3rd base timing, so again, he knows it's 2-base heavy, so he will skip the Bather Nest and go straight into roaches. Oof. First Overlord goes down. Link speed is on the way. This is a rare sight. Okay, because of link speed, there should be a link flood. There should be a link flood here. There's no reason to get link speed at this stage of the game. And you can see we're banking up the links. The links are banking up. You can see the full wall up here at the front door. Evo chamber is on the way. Into +1 carapace. Yep, into 1-1. So this should be a link flood into potentially just a 2-base all-in or into a lair. Now, minimal gas income. Yeah, minimal gas is here, so just 1-1, so it just should be a link flood. eGGz is all in. eGGz is all in. Oh no, Cham gets in! Oh, that should not have happened. The wall's not a wall! Yeah, the wall's not a wall here. There was a small gap. 2 queens get surrounded. Ay, ay, ay. Again, that should not have happened. Link speed is revealed. Cham knows. Yeah, Cham now he knows. As I mentioned before, there should be no reason for link speed to be done here for eGGz. This screams link flood. Cham is getting ready. He did drone somewhat, but now he has roach production. Yeah, roaches are now amassing. Lings they throw in the mineral line. They get on top of the queen. The queen gets surrounded. The queen is surrounded. The boys are being pulled. 3 drones do go down. But still better trades for Cham. Cham still maintains a 10 worker lead. Still up by 10 workers. Lair is almost done. eGGz, he continues lane flooding. Still nothing but Zerglings. Third base is on the way, but again, eGGz, he's not droning, he's not pulling in a gas. The longer this goes on, the worse it's going to be for eGGz. He will have like a 1-1 timing, that is true. But it does not have that surprise factor. Not anymore. Now, if Cham gets caught out in the open, then eGGz still has a chance to kill. As eGGz is going for a Ling Ravager. There is a chance to kill. Especially because Cham has no defensive Banelings. Banelings they would be ideal against MasTer to punish the surrounds, to punish the melee units. And here we go. eGGz moves out. Yeah, he moves out across the map. He does try to commit. Can we get us around? Oh, not quite. Opposition micro out of Cham. Lings they tend to engage, and yeah, these things they're going to be shut down here. Ah, they do surround the first group of roaches, though. Okay. First group will fall. Lings, they do come in from behind. And not enough Zerglings, though. Yeah, there's not enough Zerglings. There are just too many roaches. No. Yeah, Lings, they'll get cleaned up. Cham will lose all his drones here at the third expansion, but Cham still has a worker lead. And Cham is just waiting for roach speed. When roach speed kicks in, then he can counterattack. So still a stronger position for Cham. He's re-droning, he's resaturating. Stronger position. I would say a little bit unnecessary here, but we're going into meters. Spire's on the way. I'd say that Cham, he'd be fine if he just threw down the Baneling Nest and just committed across the map, but it looks like Cham is a little bit afraid of a base trade. If Cham were to push, then these Lings would base trade, and things would get a little bit... They'd get a little bit shaky, a little bit scary. Spire's almost done. Cham, it does still make a couple of roaches here, so it doesn't really have the biggest bank to work with to make mutas. Just wants to be safe. eGGz is now joining up. And eGGz is going for his own Spire. Cham will scout. And you recall we said at the start of the series how we'd see mutas at one point in this series, and we finally got there. Game 3, Spire is now done, and we can now make mutas. Cham building up his minerals. As he's still lacking some of that bank. Just running up a little bit harder. Now looking to break out. And Cham has to be careful. At this point we have 1,000 gas in the bank. And we're still waiting for the mutas. And now they're on the way. I will say that because Cham waited so long, it does mean that eGGz cannot make mutas himself. But we'll have a much smaller muta count, of course. And much smaller. eGGz is actually going to get in. He does surround here on the left-hand side. Roaches at the back up. Oh my god. Roaches, they pull away. Roaches, they have hit the field. And with that, what kind of lead do we have? Ooh, 8. 8 to 1. So a very substantial lead here for Cham. Massing on more mutalisks. eGGz trying to get into his zone, but again still is at a deficit. Ideally ideally eGGz, he would want to fight with his queens, with spores, or with biles. Technically, that might be a deciding factor, maybe. Are revealed, and Cham responds. Cham, he reacts, he responds, oh, he gets caught out. Yeah, eGGz gets caught. Losing 1, losing 2, and there's no way out of this. Yeah, there's no way out of this. He is cornered. Every mutalisk is going to go down. Ay. Yeah, heavy losses there for eGGz. At the same time, eGGz, he moves in through the center. But there are ground armies. Something gets surrounded. Yeah, desperation out of eGGz. As mutas, they have to respond to this. eGGz breaks through into the mineral line. He tries to at least. Yep, there we go. Nice hold position micro. He gets hit, and every drone is going to go down. And Cham losing a bunch of workers here, but where are the mutas? They counterattack. Mutas, they counterattack across the map. Catching up some corruptors. Cham does lose a bunch of workers here at the third base, which will make things a little bit scary, but for the most part, Cham should be fine. Like, he still has a massive amount of meters. 24 meters, papi. Let's go to those meterless lings. They try to counterattack. There are riches that turn back at home. Because they find more damage. Once again, you can see that eGGz is trying to fight with his spores, and we don't actually have any spores at the third. There was potential for damage here. There was potential. Cham playing it very safe and very scared. As Roche is there late to respond. Cham, not paying attention. Yes, a messy control here by Cham. Losing more drones than he should. Late reactions, late control. But it's still fine. Like, it's he can still afford to make these mistakes. Cham will lose 14 drones back at home, still up in workers. I mean, eGGz has built up a substantial corruptor count at this point. That's a lot of corruptors. Getting up to 11. But what's important here is the ground army. Cham is maxed out. He's got his mass roaches. Hydra production has begun as well, just in case. And he waddles in. He does waddle in. With that, he does break into the mineral line. Drone's going to be going down. There's just nothing on the ground. There's nothing here to defend. GG gets called, and Cham, he will claim the series 3-0, becoming this week's Code for Giants Cup LatAm champion. GG. GG, well played, Cham. He will come out on top here again. A strong showing here with a 3-0 in the grand finals. Did drop a map earlier and did go to the ace match against MasTeR. MasTeR did pose the biggest threat here to Cham, but only MasTeR, both against Inexorable and against eGGz. Cham did excel. And I did want to check something actually. When was the last time we casted Cham versus eGGz? Okay. So Cham versus eGGz. Fun fact, the last time we cast Cham versus eGGz was during the Home Story Cup number 22 qualifier, the LatAm qualifier. This was in 2022. No shot. So it has been 4 years. It might have been more than 4 years actually. Hold on, let's double check. Where are the dates? This was November of 2022, so it has been not quite 4 years, but almost. So a very, very, very long time since these two have played in a tournament. I mentioned at the start of the broadcast how we used to have many more online tournaments, many more like Latin American tournaments specifically, like Sentimiento Latino, Copa Hyperion, that's it, Copa Hyperion, not Copa Hyperion, Copa Hyperion, Batalla de las Americas as well. We used to have a lot more tournaments in the online scene in regards to the Latin American StarCraft, and again, the last time they played was that LatAm qualifier Home Story Cup in 2022. That is insane. It's been a long time. So again, great to see them both still active many years later. Of course, Cham does claim the series. You know, nowadays they're both part-time players. Back then they were full-time. They were much closer in skill, of course, but nowadays part-time players and still active, still competing. And I do hope to see more of them in the coming weeks and coming months. GG, well played. Great to see them. Great to catch up with them once again after so long. Fun fact, before that it was the OC Super Series Battle of the Americas edition. That was in 2021. Jesus. So again, a long time ago. It's been a while. Do miss these guys. But yeah, with that GG well played. With that, congratulations here to Cham. He will claim the series. And we are going to be going on a short break. We're not done. We're not done here. Not yet. We're going to be going on a short break because we're going to be covering the Code for Giants Cup proper. Code for Giants Cup number 31. It's going to be we're going to be jumping into the finals of that event. For those who are curious, the Code for Giants Cup LatAm edition is for all Latin American countries. Meanwhile, Code for Giants Cup proper is for only Brazilian players. So we're going to be going on a short break, and then we'll be back with the grand finals. It'll be a best of 5 between MasTeR and eGGz, PBT, in this week's Code for Giants Cup. So we'll see you soon. See you soon. Just catching up. Yeah, we'll see you soon after this short break. welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back to the second half of the broadcast. We just wrapped up with Code for Giants Cup LatAm number 7, but now we have a regular, proper Code for Giants Cup 31. We're going to be jumping into the grand finals here at best of 5 PVT, all Brazilian matchup. Let's go. Spawning in the right-hand corner of the Old Republic, we have the Brazilian Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss. Oh, representing Team Hellfire, it is MasTeR. And spawning in the bottom hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Brazilian Terran player. We have the red Terran representing Insane Master Killers. It is eGGz. So let us go. We are jumping off our series here. Once again, we just wrapped up with our LatAm version, but now we're here with regular Code for Giants Cup. Again, jumping into those straight into that best of 5. Bear that in mind. MasTeR being the best Protoss in all of Brazil. And eGGz being the best Terran in all of Brazil as well. We got the best of the best in Brazil, baby. True. And again, they both did compete against Cham earlier. Did mention that MasTeR did force. He's the only person, by the way, that took a map off of Cham for good reason. MasTeR, again, he's the best Protoss not just in Brazil, but also in all of Latino America as well. And he is favored coming into this. Typically, when it comes to Code for Giants Cup's tournaments, it's players like Eric and an eGGz that threaten him the most, that will bring him down and that can make him work for it, or even just surpass him as well. There was a previous edition where Eric did defeat MasTeR, but we'll see how an eGGz does fend for himself here, as Eric was not available and was not present for this week's Code for Giants Cup. No Eric. We have the others. We have MasTeR and an eGGz. From here on forward, though, we do open up. It is going to be a standard opener, just racks, expand, single gas out of an eGGz. Meanwhile, standard opener out of MasTeR as well. So far, so good. We'll see where this leads us. Again, often we do see an eGGz will be hyper aggressive in this matchup. He does often rely on mid-game aggression, less so kind of more longer macro plays. That is where MasTeR does excel. That is where MasTeR is going to be favored if we do get that far. So expecting early aggression, early timings, earlier all-ins out of the Terran. But now though, we're calming down. Going to be calming down. We're expecting a Twilight Council open out of MasTeR into a Gateway Council. Whether it goes 2-gate, 3-gate, or 4-gate Blink Stalker, eyes are going to be on MasTeR to see what he does kind of embrace. We will see. First Reaper does poke in. Does poke in. Just checking vision, checking for the opener, making sure there's nothing, no shenanigans going on. Threading the natural. Back at home, we have a standard follow-up here, safety bunker here for an eGGz into our racks, into our factory follow-up. Oh, there's a tech. Twilight Council open out of MasTeR. As I mentioned, this should be leading into Blink, and we'll keep an eye on how many gateways get thrown down, whether we go into a safer build, a greedier build, or more aggressive build instead. See how MasTeR's approach this. Welcome to the Old Republic. Old Republic is a larger map of the map pool, that is true, but it does have some more open expansions, and very often we do see players take advantage of that. Of course, it is quite difficult for, say, a Terran player to defend and to turtle up on 4 bases on this map, to the point where we just avoid it, right? We do expect to see Terran avoid that. Recently, Clem and Maru and other top Terrans, their best approach here on Old Republic has to be even not to go for all-ins, but just be very active, just very active, very aggressive, pushing in towards the 4th, pushing in towards the 5th base, and trying to keep the Protoss player busy while they try to expand and get a 4th base, but it is very difficult to achieve that. So they just go all in. Often they just they just commit. Behind this, oh, we do have our 1-1-1 setup into our next set of Raxes. So far, so good. Heli Reaper poking in, and MasTeR does open 2-gate. 2-gate Blink. 2-gate Blink into a third, into a later 3rd gateway. Oh. Being a little bit greedy here. Heli does get in, does get 1 probe, I believe, just 1. Yeah, 1 probe goes down. So far, good defense here by MasTeR. Is settling into his own 3-gate Blink opener into Robo. So just a safer start into his 3rd. It was a 3rd base, I believe, after 3rd gateway. So safer start. From here, MasTeR settling in. And it's going to be on an eGGz back at home to build up his tanks, to build up his bio, build up stim, and then eventually break out across the map. Hallucination does confirm the build of choice. The Hallucination confirms there's no like Cloak Banshee play, there's no 3-Vax for example, and a more committed stim timing. There's no mech. No second factory. MasTeR does confirm. From here, building up into a gateway explosion. Charge going to be on the way, and then soon we can get into our follow-up splash damage of choice once we get into 3-base saturation. Once we probe up our bases and claim a 4th base, we can work towards either Storm or Colossus. They both have their place. As for now, we're just committing to a gateway heavy composition. Very gateway heavy. Oh. Exor, we're getting supply block for a moment there. He's going to be slowed down. And there we have it. Not Storm, Colossus. We have the Bay. We have the Bay, so building up to Colossi. It'll take a little bit to really get that going, of course. There's going to be a small window in time where Inexorable could try to push out across the map pre-Colossus. And speaking of, here it is. Just drop play. So going for a double drop, just applying pressure. This will be hitting with stim and combat shields. Upgrades will be done for this. Just on MasTeR to keep up. As we have our spotter pylons, Stalkers, they push in on the right hand side to spot any kind of committed move out. Speaking of, they do. There they spot the push. Getting one, getting 2 Marines already. Not bad. Catching out a couple of bio units. Meanwhile, again, double drop in towards the 3rd or in towards the main. We'll get spotted by the pylon. MasTeR is now aware. And Inexorable, he is going to be Force 1 load. Yeah, Force 1 load. And that first Colossus will pop out in time. It's coming. Yeah, the Colossus on the way. Oh. Anti-missile on the main army. Nice armor shred. Tanks that will see jump within range of the Nexus. And so far, decent setup here from Inexorable. Oh no, we're coming from behind. Never mind. So we're coming from behind. We catch out the tanks, and with that, MasTeR, he will completely shut this down. I was about to say that we have a decent setup here pushing into the base, but that was until we saw the surround. Until Zealous, they came in from behind, and Inexorable, he will lose everything. Ay, ay, ay. The Raven, the Bio Army, 2 Medivacs do barely get away, but heavy losses here for Inexorable. That was very committed, and now it's time to counterattack. MasTeR regains map control, is pushing across the map as well. Again, it wasn't a bad position there for Inexorable, but he got surrounded. He wasn't prepared for that. And now Inexorable is forced all the way back home, claiming his 3rd CC, getting a 2nd starport, going to mass Viking production. Trying to, at least. But there is now a window in time where MasTeR can push out and apply pressure to the 3rd. Hit the 3rd base. War Prism is on the way. MasTeR claiming his 4th. MasTeR, he has gained map control. He has momentum. And we'll see if Inexorable can hold on. Remember, there are no tanks here. There's no defensive tanks. There's 1 mine here on top of the ramp. There's what, 6 Marauders? But that's what the Colossi are for. Are we getting a 2nd War Prism? Wait, what? First Prism is moving out. We have another one in production. Okay. Sure. As we commit in, nice force fields. He locks down the army. He locks down the army. 1 Colossus may go down to the Vikings. The boys are being pulled, but the Bio army is crumbling. And down goes the first Colossus. And now the Stalkers, they engage. The Stalkers, they protect the Colossi. All the Vikings go down. And GG gets called. GG gets called. MasTeR, he snowballs out of control, and he will take game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, a very intense game here from Inexorable, as he initially did commit across the map. Unfortunately, he got scouted by the pylons, if you recall. He got spotted moving out. We saw MasTeR set off with the surround. We did see a big armor shot on the Stalkers, but the Zealots came in from behind, and with that, Inexorable, he lost everything. He was outpositioned, and with that, MasTeR takes the lead in the series. If given time, Inexorable could have recovered, but MasTeR, he was quick to counterattack, quick to move out, quick to reinforce, and to commit. And with that, we're getting to game number 2. Loading into Tourmaline, and spawning in the right-hand corner of Tourmaline, we have the Brazilian Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Team Hellfire. It is MasTeR. And spawning in the bottom-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Terran player. We have the red Terran from the land of Brazil representing Insane Master Killers. It is Inexorable. Here we go. As our players are going to be opening up. Calming down. From here it is going to be, oh, okay, so from here we do have a different opener. Double gas opener out of Inexorable, going for a more tech-heavy start. Meanwhile, MasTeR just going for a standard opener and going for his Probe Scouts. Welcome to Tourmaline. Tourmaline, again, is a smaller map, and the map pool, Russia's background is very short, and we do expect more aggression here. And hey, again, we're already seeing the double gas opener. There would be no surprise, in my eyes at least, if Inexorable turns this into a 2-base all-in, but a little bit too early to really confirm that. But again, aggression is favored here. Last game, we saw Inexorable move out with a certain timing, with stim, combat shields, and with his tanks. Here we could see something more committed out of Inexorable. We're expecting something more committed. For now, again, with the faster second gas geyser, it means that we're going to get a faster factory. This also means faster starports. This can lead into Banshee play, for example. Can lead into early Cyclone, into Cyclone drop, can lead into early tank production as well. This should not be a 1-base all-in though. From here, Inexorable will expand. There are 1-base all-ins that exist in TVP, but often they're proxies. Often they're proxies across the map, or we fully wall off earlier on. Reserved for players like Maru, Clem, like they're a lot more fond of mixing in said 1-base play. Cure as well in recent times, true. Has been more diverse in that way as well. As the first Reaper does get across the map. Behind the CC on the high ground, so a little bit of a safer expansion here by Inexorable. A little bit safer. Doesn't want to get punished. Starport's on the way. Opening up with a Widowmine drop. It's the follow-up that I'm more concerned or curious by. Gets a brave, not bad. Yeah. As from here, it is going to be that Twilight Council. Extra gates are being turned down. Hello. So Twilight Council opening into Blink. We already throw down 2 more gateways in a very fast fashion here. And are we tempted to go 4-gate Blink? We're looking for 1 more gate. Back at home, we are going to be following this up. The initial Widowmine drop into Liberator follow-up. Eyes on MasTeR. There's the Robo. So far, just 3-gate Blink. Oh, he gets spotted. Yeah, the drop gets caught out. It's a heavy, a lot of damage here on the medevac. Ay. Down less than half HP. Stalker will intercept. Oh, the Mind Shot. Nice connection. Catching a Stalker. Very nice. No economic damage, but, I mean, damage nonetheless. As he does try to wall into the mineral line, and will not burrow in time. Reaper towards the natural, batteries in position, and MasTeR will hold. He will hold, he will defend. Inexorable, he rallies across the map. Bold move here by Inexorable. Dropping into the main. MasTeR races on over. Widowmine will reset. And we'll shoot, we'll fire. Oh my god, yeah, nice shot going up, getting a second Stalker. Again, the wide shots have been decent here, but the army's going to be cleaned up. Yeah, the medevac will be chased down, will not escape. Another Stalker goes down. That's 3 Stalker kills. We get 3 Stalkers at the same time. Liberator does siege up here at the natural. Oh. Does siege. Quick reactions. We got 1 probe so far. Just the 2, 3, 4. Oh my god. Nice target firing out of Inexorable. So 4 probes go down. In the end, we did have a bit of a trade, a bit of a back and forth. 3 Stalkers, 5 probes, and a Sentry. But again, some losses here for Inexorable, losing the Medevac, losing the Liberator as well. Some heavier losses. So we have a bit of a back and forth. As MasTeR moves out, and Inexorable is looking to defend. Defend here. So far, Inexorable is contained. He's setting up in the main base as well. Tanks are set up. Stim is on the way. Combat shields as well. Until these upgrades kick in, Inexorable is stuck at home. And MasTeR, he has the freedom to recover, to build up his economy, to build up his 3 bases, to work towards the bay. I will say that there was not enough really damage dealt so far to really slow down MasTeR enough to allow for like an opening to occur. Here, the game is slowing down, and MasTeR is able to build up into Colossus once again. Getting a safety immortal though this time. Let's get a safety immortal. 3rd CC. 3rd CC is on the way, so no 2-way soul in out of Inexorable. He is going for the expand. Just harassing with drops and getting into the mid game. We know this, that MasTeR has not quite confirmed yet. It does have a patrolling Stalker though, and he will find this now. Yeah, it does find the Medevac, who was patrolling on the top side as well. Does spot both, and Inexorable, he has to turn back around. Okay, he turns back around. MasTer's trying to catch him out. Inexorable gets the hell out of there. Ooh, he came directly through the center of the map though. Okay. And MasTeR, he will barely spot this, but only just. Oh, I spoke too soon. I spoke too soon. Inexorable, he does pivot towards the right hand side. Scans the 3rd base. Colossus in position. Army gets spotted.
Get me out of this,
and MasTer's aware. MasTeR needs to be a little bit proactive here to cash out the tanks. He blinks in. Ooh, gets a medevac. Thankfully, and oh, he gets a full medevac. No. Takes down a full medevac. Has to pull away, has to respect those tanks. At the same time, catching reinforcements. And reinforcements are getting caught. Zealots, they peel off into the mineral line. Catching up some SCVs, and Inexorable, he races back home. Wise choice. If he hadn't, then he would have been caught out, and that would have been game then and there. You can see, yep. MasTeR looking for the army. Looking for the Terran. She be looking. Oh. Let's check with the face. Tank shots going up. MasTeR going for the run by. There are units to defend. Yeah, thankfully there are reinforcements. And the game continues. I mean, the game will continue. We do have a War Prism here to try to dive into the main base to distract Inexorable. And there is an opening into the main. A Viking is on the way and might intercept. So we have Zealots on the left, main army on the right, and we have the drop going into the main base. Oh, Colossus, they pull away. One Colossus gets caught. Nice pickup. Very nice. One Colossus goes down. Prism gets in. Same time, jump across the map. Oh, we got a lot going on. MasTeR is he does have a defensive warp in. Yeah, defensive warp in back at home. Zealots get into the main base. SCV is going to be going down. The main army is going to be deflected. And who takes more damage? Oh, so far it is Inexorable, losing 7 SCVs and a gas geyser. Also 7 workers. Dropping to the main. Oh, losing more probes. Nice focus firing out of Inexorable. And we're getting messy. We're getting messy. Yeah, 7 SCVs against 5 workers, 5 probes. MasTeR's still trying to push in. I will say that I want to say that eGGz had the better trade here, especially because he caught the Colossus. Remember, he did catch a Colossus early on in the fight. That was a massive pickoff. And there was no equivalent for MasTeR. And there was no equivalent damage done. Pressure's on MasTeR. Pressure is on. Behind this, going into disruptors instead. Nova's going to be on the way. It's going to be a lot of disruptors. And even going into Shadow Stride as well, into Blink DTs. MasTeR is taking up. Oh. So let's take up. Disruptors, they move forward. Sell around by ideally how this lined up with something else is going to be cleaned up without too much issue. So a bit of a waste of a Zealot run by. MasTeR rotates to the center, and this all comes down to the Novas. That's a lot of Marauders. Oh my, how Marauder heavy are we? Gee, 24 Marauders. That's crazy. So many Marauders here for inexorable. Zealots take collapse in. Nova's going to be going up. They collapse with the tanks. Oh my god, massive connections. Yeah, tanks go down. Oof, splits are not good enough. Does try to spread. We got another Nova. Oh no, we keep connecting. There's about 5 disruptors. Another Nova's available. They're resetting. Novas are resetting. Still moving further in. Oof. And that's going forward. Never goes up. Better spread here from inexorable. As these Novas are not connecting. Yeah, a little over micro over there. We go one Nova connects towards the end, but the Marauders, they hold their own. They hold their own. Boys are being pulled as well. And inexorable, he does hold the line. MasTeR has to get the hell out of here. Yeah, blinks away, losing every single disruptor. Heavy losses from MasTeR. Oh. Takes the MasTeR to the face. Getting MasTeR overextended. It's forced back. It's going to be forced back here. We do see continued Viking production. I think a couple of Vikings is going to be okay, but hopefully we don't overinvest as there are no Colossus. So got to be careful. Meanwhile, MasTeR taking more bases. What's important here is that this was a better fight for inexorable. That is true. He did reset and kill 5 disruptors, but MasTeR does have map control and he's taking more bases. MasTeR does have the better economy. He's on 97 probes. Jesus, that's a lot of workers. So MasTeR, he can replenish these losses more so than inexorable, purely because of the economy. As MasTeR is already remaxed. Ay, ay, ay. It's already remaxed, catching on the Viking. Colossus production has begun once again. Once again, Nova Rainy zoning. And he does zone. Just posturing. There's no warfism with this army. Likewise, there's no backstab happening either. It's just one frontal assault. The army looking a little bit smaller just because of the high probe counts. Nice EP. Gets a disruptor. Gets one. Ooh, nice splits as well. The splits, Pappy. Gets 1, 2, 3. Gets all 4 disruptors. Much stronger fight here for inexorable. Once again, inexorable, he's out trading. He's out trading MasTeR. MasTeR's high probe count is hurting him more than anything, as he needs more army supply. So collapsing in, Colossus are lagging behind. Oh, but the Zealots, oh my god. eGGz trades so well here. There's so little splash damage. Colossus, they move in. Boys are being pulled. Desperation out of Inexorable. And this might still just be too much. And again, Inexorable, he had better fights, he had better trades, but again, his economy was lacking and he wasn't able to counterattack. He wasn't able to apply any pressure or disrupt the economy of MasTeR at all this game. The economy has been untouched the entire game. As the CC goes down, eGGz peel off into the main. And GG gets called. Inexorable just torn apart, and MasTeR will take a 2-0 lead in the series. GG. Whew. GG, well played with that MasTeR. He will take a lead. Again, Inexorable, he was holding his own, and he was actually out trading and out fighting MasTeR, but again, that economy was struggling. He was not able to sustain himself, and eventually he was overwhelmed. And again, he wasn't able to apply any counter damage to MasTeR. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're getting into game number 3, potentially the final game of the series. Going to be loading into Winter Madness. Pressure's on Inexorable. And again, he didn't look bad that last game. Did not look bad at all. Can they make a series out of it? It's spawning in the top left-hand corner of Winter Madness. We have the Brazilian Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Team Hellfire. Up in the series, 2-0. One más. One more, and he will claim it. It is MasTeR. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Terran player. We have the Brazilian Terran representing insane MasTeR killers. It is Inexorable. Let's go. Ay, ay, ay. Oh, este lechito, papi. Este lechito. Este baby. Good to see you. Good to see you both. Ah. Bienvenidos, bienvenidos. Here we go. For now, we're going to be opening up. Here, and once again, double gas opener out of Inexorable. Last game, this led into a Widowmine drop into continued aggression, which did have some mixed results, is what I will say. So we'll see if Inexorable can pull that off once again. Meanwhile, we'll see if MasTeR can have a bit of a cleaner defense against the early tech start from Inexorable. If you remember, it led into a Widowmine drop into the Liberator Harass as well as the follow-up. As from here, the probe is going to be recalled back home. They'll save the probe. Technically, that is more efficient, by the way, to recall the worker than to chrono boost. So it saves the probe. And does at least confirm the double gas. So MasTeR, he's a little bit more aware. Welcome to Winter Madness. Winter Madness this time is a larger map of the map pool. We often do see longer games as a result. A lot of mid-game, a lot of mid to late game play on Winter Madness. I don't think that Inexorable wants to go that far, though. I don't think we want to embrace the late game the scenario. But we'll see. We'll see how he will approach. It's on Inexorable. Bienvenidos a este Delphus. Bienvenidos. Likewise at a MasTeR, we've been seeing 3-gate blink every game. It's just been 3-gate blink into a robo into a third base. This would be an opportunity here for MasTeR to maybe cut some corners on a map like Winter Madness to go 2-gate blink instead, so we could be a little bit greedier and have a stronger mid game. We'll see. Oh. As the Reaper is deflected. This time we are not going for Widowmine production. Okay, medevac is on the way, going for a committed reactor marine drop. So this time, instead of going double Widowmine, it's going to be reactor marine with the Widowmine as well. The goal here is economic damage. Ideally, you want to preserve the Widowmine shots. You don't want to waste it on probes. You want to preserve it to zone away and to ideally catch out some stalkers instead. Mainly zoning though. Again, there's a variation that the Korean scene did popularize, Maru and Byun. This was what, like 2 years ago? As eGGz does move out across the map. And we'll see how many workers he can kill. There is a safety battery in the main already, though. Yeah, safety batteries here in position due to the double gas opener. True. Double gas means Reaper Hellion, so MasTeR was getting ready for that. Does open 3-gate blink. Safe build once again. eGGz slips into the main. Out of vision. Barely out of vision. Oh, does get spotted. And Reapers, they will reinforce, and there is that battery in position. And MasTeR holds. Yeah, MasTeR should be able to hold on. He will lose a sentry. One sentry goes down, but only a sentry. All the Marines get cleaned up. Reapers as well, and did we even get a Widowmine? Am I crazy? Okay, we must have gone to it was the first thing focused down, and that was not worth it. That was not worth it here. Kills one sentry, and that's it. In the end, MasTeR, he does hold, does defend. Behind this, we got an empty medevac, trying to apply some pressure or get some scouting. MasTeR free to expand. So a much stronger start here for MasTeR. Claims his third base. Zones away the medevac. And back at home, we have that biotank follow-up. And it's going to take a while to really get going. We have to wait for stim, combat shields, build up the tank count. There can be Raven harass at least. So we can harass a little bit with Raven and get some scouting information. But for the most part, MasTeR is safe. Safe to build up. Safe to build up his bases. Liberator does siege up at the natural. So big K harass. Gets a probe. Gets a probe. And the real question becomes, does eGGz get a third base? That's kind of what we're waiting for here. Does he commit? Does he pull the boys when he pushes? Or do we just expand? Oh. Okay. Speaking of Koreans, and we spoke earlier about the initial Marine Widowmine drop. This has also been seen a lot more from, I say Koreans, from Clem and Cure, like from the Team Liquid boys. We're pushing pre-upgrades. This is a main move out here with 3 tanks, and the main core of the army, the main bulk of the DPS is coming from the tanks. The Marines have just hit a buffer, and MasTeR will slow this down. He tries to at least get a Marine, gets 1, gets 2. 1, 2, 3 Marines going down. Doesn't speak of a Stalker. And then if he loses this army, that's game. Like, he cannot lose all these tanks, not this early on, and he's bleeding out a lot of Marines. Yeah, Marines are going down. Zealots are warping in. Charge is done. And soon MasTeR can commit. Yeah, soon he can dive, just waiting to be healed up. Tanks are within range. And we collapse on the army. We just lost too many Marines. Too many Marines went down, and with that, eGGz is going to lose everything. All 3 tanks full. Heavy losses for eGGz, and now we can counterattack. Back at home, what do we have to defend? We have a 3rd CC on location, which might even be denied. GG gets called, and MasTeR, he will claim the series 3-0, advancing or becoming this week's Code for Giants Cup number 31 champion. GG. GG, well played. That's again such a committed push here that eGGz went for. To be fair, we've seen it work. Like, as I mentioned, Cure and Clem, specifically Cure, he did this successfully against Hero. I want to say it was in GSL in season 1 of this year. Cure, he was able to pull this off, where you just commit across the map, you push up the ramp, you push into the 3rd base, but it is heavily reliant on being unscouted. The problem here was that as eGGz was pushing, he bled out, what, 5-6 Marines? He lost a lot of Marines in the process, so by the time he sieged up within range of the 3rd base, he barely had any support for the army. He lost so many Marines in the process, so there was no support, no buffer, and he got shut down. And as we were saying at the time, if you lose those 3 tanks, that's game. Like, that's and he did lose the army, did not kill the 3rd base. GG, well played. Meanwhile, big shout out to Pezavenga in the chat. Thank you so much for the gifted subs to the community. Thank you so much for the support. We do appreciate it, as always, papi. Gracias. Hope you enjoy the content, the casting, the StarCraft, and likewise those who receive the gifted sub. I hope you enjoy the emotes as well, the emotes and replay packs. True. Thank you so much. But GG well played again. A very committed play there by Inexorable. He got scouted, he got shot down, he got picked away at as he moves out across the map, and that was game. Again, heavily reliant on being hidden, on hiding that push, hiding that build, and avoiding that main army. And with that, congratulations to Cham and Chamako for winning the Code for Giants Cup LatAm edition, and for MasTeR for winning the regular proper edition of Code for Giants Cup. GG. GG well played. With that, that is going to be wrapping up our morning broadcast. Checking out the rest of our schedule here, it's going to be a very intense weekend of StarCraft. Later on tonight, we're going to be live with Ducklings Open. We have the SDO this evening. That's going to be Saturday night. We have Sparkling Tunic Cup on Sunday as well, but we have more than that. So we have the Ubu Thermal 2v2 circuits over the weekend as well. It's going to be a very intense weekend of StarCraft, as we do have a lot of admin to do. That's also why we don't have a morning broadcast tomorrow, because I'm going to be passed the hell out after adminning all night. But again, it's going to be, I believe, a 2-day event here for the playoffs of the Thermal circuit. Oh boy. So again, that's going to be the next 2 days as well. Coming into the week of StarCraft, we have Kung Fu Cup, we have OSC Mid-Season Playoffs, Picasso Cup, the Podcast, OSC the Rising Cup, and next weekend, it was already announced, we have GSL. GSL, the 20th and 21st of June, is going to be GSL CK. It's going to be a Foreigner versus Korea edition, featuring Rainer, Clem, Hero, all the best players in Korea, and Europa are going to be facing off. They're going to be facing off in GSL CK, and we are going to be the official English casters. Let's go. We're going to be casting. That's going to be over on Soup. It's going to be over on Soup. Bear that in mind. We'll be casting in English. That'll be next weekend. That'll be next weekend. So I'll make sure I'm well rested and well set up for that. I look forward to it. Look forward to it. There's a lot of StarCraft going on nowadays with Masters of the Game as well. We have not been covering that. And we have Home Story Cup at the end of the month. Home Story Cup, Masters of the Game, GSL CK, and all the regular weeklies. And we have the Crank Gathers event also happening next at the end of the month. That's going to be a big StarCraft Evolution event, multi-week, multi-day. It's going to last the entire month. We're also going to be the official English casters for that as well. All the coverage, all the English, all the StarCraft. Bearing in mind that I don't think I didn't check Reddit. I don't know if anyone made a post about it, but the Doyu Cup was announced. I'm hoping that people brought it up, because it is huge. I should have said something last night after the podcast. But the Doyu Cup was announced, and let's see here. Past week. Yeah. No one's talking about it on Reddit. I guess I'll post it after this. But the Doyu Cup is announced. There's a big event happening in China. Massive $20,000 tournament featuring Scarlet, featuring Trap, Innovation, Oliveira. Neeb is going to be there as well. God, who else comes to mind? Impact. Yo, Pimpact is going to be there. Su. Who else? Deer is going to be there. A lot of Chinese players. Coffee, Jeshi, Cyan. Max Zed, and who are some of the other legends that were announced? Fantasy is going to be there as well. For those that are curious, basically a big Doyu Legends Cup is going to be occurring, basically bringing together a bunch of retired players, a bunch of old school legends in StarCraft, like again Innovation, Trap, Neeb, and many others, all going to be brought together to compete in one massive tournament. We said it during the podcast. If you missed it, watch the podcast on a regular basis. That's our weekly talk show. Scarlet is going to be a heavy favorite because she's actually active. Like, she's a legend in StarCraft, that is true, but also she's like the most active player. Everyone else has been retired for years. Like, Neeb has been retired for like 6 years, I want to say. No, not quite 6, 4 years. That's it, 4 years. But there are players like Fantasy who haven't played in like 6+ years as well. Like, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy. Gonna be wild. But look forward to it. Look forward to the Doyu Cup. It's gonna be beautiful. They should get Oliveira to come out of retirement. I mean, he's gonna be playing in the events, but it's only for like it's like a big like show match event, right? Like a big proper tournament for all these older legends. So yeah, Oliveira is gonna be there. Yeah, it'll be crazy. So look forward to it. Look forward to it. Again, we should be casting that in English as well. We should be the main English casters for that. Should be. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Thanks so much for the support. We do appreciate it. And again, we'll be live later on tonight with Duckling Open. I will not be casting that event, but I will be adminning. We'll be adminning that tournament. And again, Tuna Cup tomorrow and the Uru Thermal 2v2 League throughout the course of the weekend as well. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. If you want to support us, you can do so via all the socials. You can follow us. We do have a Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Discord, all things CranKy Ducklings. You can follow us on all the socials. Again, we do upload on YouTube on a daily basis. Otherwise, you can support us on Patreon as well. ! Patreon. Our Patreon does fund our tournaments on a regular basis. It funds events like our events over the weekend. The Duckling Open, the SDO, and the Sparkling Tuna Cup are both funded via the Patreon, so you can help us grow those events if you wish via the Patreon. Always thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Until then, ciao, bye, ciao, hasta luego.